Okay, is my screen visible? Is my screen visible, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, okay. So then let us start. In the previous class, I told you about the Lamis theorem, and there are some conditions where you can apply Lamis theorem. If only those conditions get satisfied, then only you can apply the Lamis theorem. So when you can apply Lamis theorem, when there are three coplanar and concurrent forces. Okay, only there should be three, not less than three, not more than three. If only three coplanar and concurrent forces are in equilibrium, then each force is directly proportional to the sine of the angle between the other two forces. You can see here, that is the force F1 here, F2 and F3 all are three coplanar concurrent and all of them are equilibrium. Let alpha, beta and gamma be the angle made between them. So using Lamis theorem, what you can show that is F1 divided by sine of the angle between the other two. Other two are F2 and F3. So it is F1 divided by sine alpha is equal to F2 divided by sine of beta is equal to F3 divided by sine of gamma. This you can prove using Lamis theorem statement. So now I also gave you a simple example where you can apply the Lamis theorem directly to find the unknown forces. Yes, of course, the thing is, I told you also about the equilibrium. When there are concurrent forces, only two equations of equilibrium will come into picture. Sorry, concurrent, only two equations of equilibrium. That is summation of all the forces in x direction as 0 and summation of all the forces in y direction as 0. When it is a non-concurrent, there will be three equations. That is summation of fx equal to 0, fy equal to 0 and summation of moment equal to 0. Now the thing is, Lamis theorem, if you don't want to apply Lamis theorem, okay, then also you can find the forces in the unknown members. How you can do is you can go for the equilibrium equations. Okay, if you go for equilibrium equations, even without applying Lamis theorem, you can find that. But the easiness of the Lamis theorem cannot be achieved because in Lamis, using Lamis theorem, in a very shortcut method, you can get the unknown forces. Okay, we will also see in the next example where we cannot apply the Lamis theorem actually, and where we have to go for the equilibrium equations. So this example I gave you on demonstrate you on how to apply the Lamis theorem. Let us come to this numerical example here. Okay, so now you can see here in the figure the portion BC of the string is horizontal. Okay, there are strings here attached. The BC portion is exactly horizontal and pulley is frictionless. There is a pulley here. Okay, pulley, I mean to say there will be a I think you can understand what do you mean by a pulley. Okay, so I will just tell you what you mean by a pulley. So there will be a roller. Okay, so on that roller there will be two strings. This pulley can rotate easily. This pulley can rotate easily, right? So when this pulley can rotate easily without any friction, that kind of pulley is actually called as a frictionless pulley. Okay, I think in your homes and all, if you have seen well, if you want to take out the water from the well without using the pump, you go for a rope and you put it on a pulley. Okay, then you just try to pull that rope so that the water comes out from the vessel. Okay, so that pulley, what you can see, that is nothing but this one. But what happens, sometimes the pulleys will be frictionless, means there will be a smooth movement of the rope. Okay, so now you need to determine the tension in the different parts of the string. This is one string, this is one more string, and this is one more string. So you need to find the tensions in these strings. So what happens here is, here there is a load of 100 kilonewton which is acting at point D over this pulley. So this 100 newtons, because of acceleration due to gravity, this will come down. Okay, this will try to come down. Since this tries to come down, this string will experience some tension. Okay, this string will experience some tension. And since the pulley is frictionless, whatever tension is there in this string, the same tension will be there in this string also. Okay, that is CD string. So whatever tension is there in this string, if I call it as T4, the same tension will be there in this string also. Why? Because the pulley is frictionless. If it is having some friction, okay, then whatever tension is there in this string, the same tension may not be there in this string. So it will be less because of the friction. But since they have told that the pulley is frictionless, so it means that whatever tension is there in this string, the same will be there in this string. So I can say that T4 is equal to T3. So that you have to understand first. Okay, then let us find out what will be the tension in this string. So what I will do, uh, I will mark that 100 kilonewton here. This is my 100 kilonewton weight. Okay. This load is actually acting downwards. Okay. And there is a string which is attached. This string it is attached. This string is attached. Now there will be tension in the string, means I should put it as upwards. So this is also 100 kilonewton, means same thing. Means whatever load is there, the same 100 kilonewton will be acting downwards, and this will be a tension in the string. Now, can anybody tell me what will be the value of this tension? What will be the value of this tension? Let me call it as say T4. What will be the value of T4? Can anybody tell me what will be the value of this T4?
Sir, 100 T4 is equal to mg.
T4 is equal to mg. No, don't worry about mg and all. Tell me what is T4 in terms of kilonewtons. Now don't worry about weight and all. Okay, just think it is 100. No, sorry, not it is not kilonewtons. I'm sorry, it is actually newtons. It is given in terms of newtons. You can see here. Yeah. What will be the value of T4 in terms of newtons?
T4 is equal to 100 Newton.
Yes, perfect. T4 is also equal to 100 newtons. How you can prove that is, I will just give you a very simple one. Now consider this as x-axis. Okay. And consider this as say y-axis. In this case, I will apply the summation of all the forces in y direction as 0. This equilibrium equation I will apply. Okay. So suppose if I try to apply summation of fx equal to 0, what will happen? Summation of fx equal to 0, if I try to apply, is there any force in the x direction? No, right? No force is there in the x direction. So then no need to apply summation of fx equal to 0. So let me go for summation of fy equal to 0. And what sign convention I will be following is same as I told you. What sign convention? If all the forces which are in upward direction, I should take it as positive. Okay. So I will try to apply summation of fy equal to 0 for this system, for this entire system. So what will happen? 100, should I write it as minus 100 or plus 100? This 100, I should write it as plus 100 or minus 100. Students, minus 100 or plus 100 it is? What it should be? Minus or, yeah, minus 100, right? Yeah, it should be minus 100. So I should write it as minus 100. What about T4? Plus T4 or minus T4?
Plus T4.
Yeah, plus T4, because as per sign convention, it is in the upward direction. So is there any other force apart from these two, which is in y direction? No, any other force is there, right? So I should equate it to 0. So from this, I can see that T4 is also 100 newtons. Are you clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So of course, from this diagram itself, you can easily tell T4 is also 100 Newton. But how it is 100 Newton? So it has been proved like this. Okay, right. Now your T4 is 100 Newtons. So this is 100 Newtons. And since the pulley is frictionless, T3 also should be 100 Newtons, because I told you why it will be same. Because the pulley is frictionless. Since T4 is 100 Newtons, so T3 also should be 100 Newtons. Okay, then now what I will do, I will take my point C here. You can see here, this is point C. I will take point C and I will mark all the forces which are acting at point C. Let us do that. So this is my point C. Let me mark all the forces which are acting at point C, right? So there is one force which is in this direction, that is this one. There is the tension which is acting in this direction. There is a tension which is acting in this direction, that is this one. Okay, and also this weight W which is acting downwards, so that also I should mark it like this. So this is my point C. This is the weight W which is not known to you. This I will call it as say T2. Okay, I have marked here. This I will call it as say T2, and this I have already marked it as T3, and I know the value of that, which is 100 Newtons. And this angle is actually given to you. This angle is already given to you, which is 135 degrees. How much will be this angle, students? How much will be that
90.
angle? Yeah, it should be 90, right? Since this is also perfectly horizontal, this is also perfectly vertical, so they are mutually perpendicular to each other. So this should be 90. So how can you calculate this angle then? So it is simply 360 minus 135 plus 90, which comes out to be 135 degrees. Are you clear, students? Any doubts in this? Yes. Yeah. Now you see, is it not like a three coplanar concurrent forces which are acting away from the particle and all of them are in equilibrium? Can we apply Lamè's theorem here or no? Can we apply Lamè's theorem here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then go for Lamè's theorem. So let us start with T3. You can start it with anything. Okay. Let me start with the W2. So W2 is the force, or I can say load, divided by sine of the angle between the other two. What will be that? W divided by sine of what? It will be
135.
yes, 135 equal to T2. Okay, T2 divided by sine of what it will be?
135.
Yeah, once again 135. Okay, is equal to T3. Okay, T3 divided by the left out is sine of 90. Right now, what you can do? You can use yeah. See here, T3 is already 100 newtons, that I know. So I can directly write it as 100 here. Okay. Now what you can do, you can only go for these two, do cross multiplication. What will happen if you do cross multiplication? T2 into sine 90 is equal to 100 into sine 135. Therefore, if you do cross multiplication, you can get the value of T2 as, that is 100 into sine of 135 divided by sine of 90, which comes out to be 70.71. Okay, then what you can do next, you can use this and this and do the cross multiplication. So from that you can get the value of W2, which is equal to, that is once again 100 into sine of 135, okay, divided by sine of 90 once again. So once again you are getting 70.71. Are you clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts you have in this? Okay, right. So you have applied the Lamis theorem at point C. Now let us apply the point B, take point B and draw all these forces and check whether we can apply Lamis theorem or not. Okay. Yeah, I will take point B. So this is my point B. One is actually acting downwards. I should call it as W1. Okay, you can see here. This is actually acting downwards. One is acting on this side. I will call it as T1, that is tension in string 1. I will call it as a T1. And there will be one more tension in the string BC. I will call it as, I have already named it as T2. Okay, so this is your point B. Okay, what they have given? Okay, this angle they have given it as 120 degrees. Okay, this angle they have given it as 120 degrees. It means this angle is 120 degrees, and you can easily say that this angle is 90 degree, and you can find this angle as 360 minus 120 plus 90, which comes out to be 150 degrees. Now let me apply the Lamis theorem here. So it is W1 divided by sine of 120 equal to T1 divided by sine of 90 is equal to T2, but T2 you already found it as 70.71. So I should write it as T2, that is 70.71 divided by sine of 150. Now what you can do, you can take this and this first and do the cross multiplication. Okay, W1 into sine 150 is equal to 70.71 into sine 120. So 70.71 into sine of 120 divided by sine of 150, which comes out to be 122.47. That is W1. Newtons. Then what you can do, you can take this and this next. Okay, so do the cross multiplication. So that is 70.71 into sine 90 divided by sine of 150. So which comes out to be 141.42. That is T1. Are you clear, students? Are you clear with this new numerical example? Any doubts you have? Any doubts, students? You have any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
right. Yeah. Let me take this numerical example here. Same thing, what you have to do is, in all the strings, you have to find the tension, right? So you can see here, these are all strings which have been attached. You have to find the tension in each and every string. Now you can see here at point B, they have suspended a load of 400 newtons, and at point D, they have suspended a load of 600 newtons. It means the tension in this string and the tension in this string is same as the load what they are supporting. Means tension in this string will be 600 newtons and tension in this string will be 400 newtons. But tension in all these other strings you need to find. Okay. But before proceeding further, you have to, I want all of you to just concentrate at point D and concentrate at point B and tell me at which point I can apply Lamis theorem. At which point I can apply Lamis theorem. Yes, students, concentrate on point B and point D and tell me at which point I can apply Lamis theorem.
Point D, sir.
Point D. Why point D?
Sir, three concurrent forces are there.
Yes, point D is perfect answer because you can see at point D only three concurrent forces are there, right? But if you go to point B, how many are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 concurrent forces are there at point B, but at point D we have only 3. So I can apply the Lamis theorem at point D only and not at point B. But what will happen at point B? I will come to that part later. First, let us take point D and draw all the forces which are acting at that point. So I will take point D. So one force is the weight suspended and which is 600 Newton itself. Then we have one more string here. Let me call that as say TDE. OK. You can name anything T1, T2 or TDE. I'm marking. And there is one more in this direction. OK. So let me call that as say TDB. Right. And let me mark X and Y axis. OK, let us not mark here because I will try to calculate the angles here only directly. OK, right. So you can see here. This they have given it as 30 degrees. I'm sorry. You can see here. This they have given it as 30 degrees. It means this angle will also be 30 degree. And how much is this angle? You know, it is 90 degree. So how much will be this total angle? 90 plus 30 is 120 degree. So this angle should be 120 degrees. Right. And they have given this angle as say this angle as 30 degree. So then how much will be this angle, students?
60.
Yeah, 60 because the total should be 90, right? So this angle is 60. And how much is this angle? 90 degree. So 90 plus 60 is 150. 150 plus 30 is 180. It means you can see here 90 plus 60 that is 150. So this angle, this total angle is 150 degree. I mean to say 150. I mean to say this angle is 150 degree. Are you clear, students? Right? And the remaining angle can be calculated as 360 minus 120 plus 150. So which comes out to be 90 degrees. Are you clear, students, with these angles? Calculation of the angles. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let me just apply the Lamis theorem because I know only 3 concurrent forces are there and all are acting away from the particle and all of them are in equilibrium. So I can apply the Lamis theorem directly. So let us do that. So 600 divided by sine of 90 is equal to TDB divided by sine of 150 is equal to TDE divided by sine of 120 degree. Then you can take only these two and do the cross multiplication, and you can get the value of TdB, which will be equal to 600 times sine of 150 divided by sine of 90, which comes out to be 300 newtons. Okay. Then next you can take this and do the cross multiplication, and you can get the value of TDE, which is equal to 600 times sine of 120 divided by sine of 90, which comes out to be 519.61. Are you clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, right. So I have calculated the tension in this string and also the tension in this string. So it is done. So this is already given to you, which is 600 newtons. So now next step is I need to calculate the tension in this, and this. Now don't have a notion that, okay, this is known, so only 3 are there, so I can apply Lami's theorem. No, whether it is known or unknown, at a point when there are 4 forces are acting, then you cannot apply the Lami's theorem. So then in that case, what you have to do, I will tell you. But before that, I will take point B and let me mark all these forces which are acting at point B. Let me take that point. So this is my point B. So one tension is acting like this. I will call it as TBC. Okay, then one is acting in this direction. I will call it as TBD, which is same as TDB. Okay, then one is acting in this direction, horizontal direction. I will call it as TBA. And one more is acting downwards, and that is already given to you, which is 400 newtons. Okay, then what they have given is they have given this angle as 30 degrees. Okay, this angle is 30 degrees. So let me mark the X and Y axis here. This is your X axis. And this is your Y axis. Okay. So they have given this angle as 30 degree. And this angle is also 30 degree they have given. Okay, right. So this is your point B. Now you can see that here you cannot apply the Lami's theorem directly because 4 forces are there, I told you. And TBD is known to us, which we have already calculated as TDB, which is 300 newtons. Okay, so we don't know TBC, we don't know TBA, and this is known to us, which is 400 newtons. Now in these type of cases where you cannot apply the Lami's theorem and where you can see point B is in equilibrium, you can apply the equations of equilibrium. And since all these forces are concurrent forces, then you have option of applying only 2 equilibrium equation. The first one is, let us take summation of all the forces in next direction as 0. And sign convention, what I'm following is all the forces in this direction as positive. Okay, this is one of the equilibrium equation what I can apply, and there is one more summation of Fy equal to 0. I will come to that part later. Okay, then it means that I have to take the component of all the forces in x direction and equate them to 0. I have to find the components of all the forces in x direction, add them, then equate them to 0. But here you can see this is an inclined force. So I need to find the component of that. So the component of that will be in this direction. And its value will be, can anybody tell me what will be the value of this? What will be the value of this?
TBC cos 30.
Yes, it is TBC cos 30. We also have one more inclined force. So I need to mark the component of that also. And this will be TBD cos 30, but TBD is already known to us. So it is 300 cos 30. Horizontal component of this 400 Newton will not come into picture because it is purely in y direction, and no component of this because purely in x direction. So you have to take this as directly. So let us substitute all of them. So TBC, will you take positive or negative? TBC plus TBC cos 30 or minus TBC cos 30?
Plus, sir.
Yeah, plus, right? Because it is in the positive sign convention. So I should write it as plus TBC cos of 30 degree. And this also will be plus because that is also in a positive sense. So 300 cos of 30. And this TBA should be taken as negative. That I should write it as minus TBA equal to 0. So let me put it in a simplified form. So cos 30 is 0.86. 0.86 TBA. Okay, 300 cos 30, 300 times cos of 30, which is 259.8. Minus TBA equals to 0. So two unknowns are there here. Okay, sorry, this is TBC. You can see two unknowns are there here, which you cannot solve. So I will keep it as say equation A itself. At this point of time, let me keep it as equation A. Then let me go for next equilibrium equation, that is summation of Fy equal to 0. Summation of Fy equal to 0. And sign convention what I'm following is all the forces in the upward direction as positive. So this sign convention I'll be following, right? So let me mark the y components. So for this, the y component will be downwards, and for this, the y component will be upwards. So let me write the y component of this TBC. So it is plus TBC sine 30 minus, okay, minus TBD, but it is 300 Newtons. So I should write it as minus 300 sine 30. Any other force is there, students, which is in the y direction? Any other force is there, or only these two?
400 newtons.
Yes, so 400. So should I take it as plus or minus?
Minus.
Yes, it should be taken as minus 400. Equated to 0, right? Then here you can see there is only one unknown, which is TBC, which you can solve. So let us do that. So it is minus 300 sine 30 minus, okay, minus 400 minus 550. If I take it on that side, it becomes plus 550 plus 550 divided by sine of 30. And you will get to see that TBC is actually 1100 newtons. TBC is coming as 1100 newtons. Once you know TBC, you can substitute this back into this equation A. Okay. In equation A, you can substitute the value of TBC and you can get the value of TBA. So from this, I can get the value of TBA as, let me just calculate. So 0.86 times 1100. Okay, plus 259.8. So if I take it on that side, it becomes minus. So minus minus will go. So TBA, I'm getting it as 1205.8. Are you clear, students? Are you clear with this numerical example?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts are there? Right. So the main and the important concept here is when you are unable to apply the Lami's theorem because 4 forces will be involved. So you have to go for these equilibrium equations. Okay, you have to go for these equilibrium equations. But these equilibrium equations you have to use with the sign conventions what you have already followed. Okay, and if it is a concurrent force, only there will be 2 equilibrium equations. When it is a non-concurrent force, there will be 3 equilibrium equations. So we'll see those type of numerical examples also in the further classes. Apart from that, the main thing here is whenever these type of problems are given, first you have to see a point where you can apply the Lami's theorem directly and find out the unknown forces. Then you have to go for the other point where you cannot apply the Lami's theorem. Suppose in this numerical example itself, instead of going for point D, if you had gone for point B, what would have happened? Okay, this is point D. Suppose instead of going for point D first, if you had gone for point B, what would have happened? Then you would have ended up with the 2 unknown forces and 2 simultaneous equations and all those tedious process of calculation. Okay, of course you can solve, but the length of calculation will be much more longer. But if you go for point D, then you can easily find this one. And once you come to point B, so in a very short 2 steps only, you can get the other unknown forces. Are you clear, students? Any doubts you have? Anything you would like to ask? So when is your first IA? I think they have declared, right?
July 1st, sir.
July?
First, second, third.
Okay,
First,
right,
second,
July.
third.
Yeah, okay. So I would like to tell you the portion of that maybe after some 2 or 3 days, because I would like to discuss with the other division class also, that is D division. So with that we will fix up the portion. But what you have to do is still time is there. Those who have not started with the practice of some numerical examples, so please take all my class notes which I have already uploaded in the WhatsApp group, right? And also after this class, I will be giving you a link for my YouTube channel where I have uploaded all the videos till now, whatever I have done. But those videos are not from your class. They were for the previous semester. So same things are there. Okay, you can refer those videos and refer my class notes and start solving some of the numerical examples on your own. If you at any point of time, if you get any doubt, I will be there to help you. But start from today only. Practice is needed for this subject. I know when you are listening to class or when you're seeing what I'm solving, you feel the things are easy. I can do it very easily. But once you sit down on yourself and start solving some numerical examples, you will face some difficulties. Okay, so don't open the book a day before the exam. So start practicing now only. Don't commit that mistake. I've seen most of the students doing that. They understand everything in the class, but once they sit for the exam, they can't do anything. I've seen a lot of students. So please, based on that experience, I'm telling you, start practicing from your side. Okay, will you do it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay
sir.
then. Okay then. So let us end the class here now. So we'll meet in the next class tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, students. Bye.
Thank you, sir.